You're listening to a Brain Stew Fresh Fright review.
What's up, creeps? Welcome to another brand new epic film, guys. Fresh Fright review. I'm Justin.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm BluBrry.
And this week on the show, we're talking about Corin Hardy's brand new teen horror flick, Whistle. Whistle, which I thought was really ironic. You brought this up yesterday, Jeremy, that on the front poster, it says, "Don't blow it."
Oh.
Like it was almost setting itself up to fail before it even came out.
The tagline, man.
Yeah.
Don't blow it. And I'm like, well, if this movie sucks, it's going to be like, well, you did. You blew it. You blew an opportunity to make a good movie.
You blow it!
Yeah, that's an iconic line right there. Maybe they were thinking, nah. I mean, the image itself is kind of cool for a poster. They're holding the, I believe it's called an Ochoa or something like that. Is the Aztec
Somebody brushed up on their history.
death whistle. Well, I tried to fucking figure, when they kept saying it while I was watching the movie, I'm like, what are they actually saying?
Justin took his Google Translate out on his phone.
Oh, well, I mean, they do it in the movie too, but,
Yeah.
you know, this was not a huge title that was going to get a big release. I know Shudder produced it, and it had a small theatrical window, but it's a horror movie, so we decided why the hell not. And it's got Dafne Keen in it. It's got a few names in it. And Corin Hardy had done previously the first Nun movie, which I absolutely detested, but, you know, he had some atmosphere in that movie. And Jeremy, you had mentioned he did another movie you really enjoyed.
Yeah, The Hollow, which came out in 2015. I didn't know that he was the one that directed that until looking up this movie before we started the podcast. And I was like, oh, shit. Corin Hardy made The Hollow. And The Hollow is like, it's like folklore horror, man. It's
Right.
really, really good. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was actually like my favorite horror movie of 2015. It's
Wow.
really, really solid. So if you guys haven't seen The Hollow, not Hollow, Hallow. It's really, really
Like
good.
Hallow Be Thy Name and all that shit, whatever.
Yeah.
there
Or
you
like
go.
Halloween. Yeah.
Halloween. Never heard of that shit. But for those uninitiated, be ratty, do your job here. Fill them in on what Whistle is all about.
So a group of high school misfits inadvertently come across an ancient Aztec death whistle. Blowing it summons their future deaths to hunt them down. And as the body count increases, they investigate the history in hopes of halting the sequence of events they have set in motion.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, this movie is pretty much a version of Final Destination or Nightmare on Elm Street, where
Or Tarot.
I mean, in a bare bones sensibility, these kids are marked to die by some kind of supernatural force after they do some dumb shit they probably shouldn't be doing because they're teenagers and dumb. And then there's a set of rules for how it'll all happen, or how they have to try to cheat death, if you will. So this is not reinventing the wheel by any means. It's pretty much standard kind of thing. We've seen this before. The whole idea, I think, of blowing the whistle and you know, it's summoning your death and killing you in the way that you'd eventually die is pretty interesting. But I will say right off the bat that, I mean, the script itself doesn't really develop or lead you down the path to unveil all of the details behind this lore. It's kind of just standard basic storytelling, you know. Right off the bat as well, I can pretty much say for all of us, but I'll throw it around the room, of course. Jeremy, you already told me you had like no anticipation for this. I don't think you did either. Right, Brady?
No, not at all.
Zero.
I don't even know if I watched the trailer for this thing before going to see it. Like, I just don't know. It was just one of those things where, to me, I was like, okay, this is going to be studio mainstream horror fodder. Like, it's what I think I read the premise or something and was just like, well, this sounds like it's going to be stereotypical studio horror that's trying to appeal to a certain demographic that I'm most likely not part of whatsoever. My question is, why name it Whistle? Why not Death Whistle? Isn't that a better name? Isn't Death Whistle a better name for this than just Whistle? Like I feel like the title is kind of silly, man. I mean, like I understand it's a death whistle, but I don't know.
I honestly think
It's
Death
not
Whistle is
been-
a way more badass title if you're making a
I
horror
think
movie.
it would
No,
it would
Death
make more
Whistle.
sense
Yeah.
if we'd gone into the history of what a death whistle was.
Mhm.
Because in this movie it's just like, oh, we blew on it, cool, it's this artifact that they, that the Mayans may have used or the Aztecs used, and then you'd never hear anything else about it. It's just all right, cool. Because I would have really liked that. Like if you had given us a movie where you spend 10 minutes. I mean, the movie's a little over an hour and a half. Spend 10 minutes talking about more of the history, about what a death whistle does, why the culture believed in it, how it's gotten here, all this stuff. But they don't do any of that. I mean, the whistle literally is only there because it has to be in the movie.
Yeah, so
Like,
you might as well feel free and kick it off with your initial thoughts on the movie as well. Yeah.
I really had no anticipation for it. It's February, so you never really have high hopes for this time of year. And I, like Jeremy, didn't watch the trailer. I had known of it when we did our top 10 most anticipated, but it didn't crack anybody's list, I don't think.
No.
And initial thoughts, man, like it's very stereotypical run-of-the-mill group of kids trying to cheat death, getting picked off one by one. Had some decent set designs. I think that, like, we'll get into it, but the Harvest Festival was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
I liked that shit.
Yeah.
Did you know, real quick, did you know that apparently that scene, this is what I think my buddy Keeney told me this after we saw the movie last night, that scene specifically, it was actually snowing outside when they filmed that scene, and they had to, like, digitally remove the snow from that scene.
I mean, it looked kind of cold. And I mean, the script written by Owen Egerton is adapted from a short story that he wrote anyways.
Interesting.
So that's interesting and cool, but that's also where I think the movie really suffers, is the writing and the lack of any character development. Even the tense scenes are so overdone with the weird, just like, jittery neck, like kind of stuff. Like, it's just, come on, we've seen that how many fucking times. And then even when you had decent kills, it's so overly done with CGI that I think it took away from me. And actually, before we keep going, Jeremy, you weren't here yet, but we were talking pre-show about, there was an article that came out where the director and the writer shared like the 7 films that inspired them for making it. And I'm shocked because I think maybe one of these maybe made it, but number one is The Lost Boys. Number 2 is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, that's obvious. That's obvious.
Number 3 is Donnie Darko, Final Destination 3, The Breakfast Club, My Bloody Valentine, and The Blob. That's what they said inspired this movie. And I was like, I don't think you guys have seen any of those movies.
Whatever. I mean, there's the movie takes place in like a mill town, so there you go. There's My Bloody Valentine, right?
Sure. But yeah, so initial thoughts coming out of this one, I was like, about what I expected.
Yeah. J-Dog.
Yeah, for me, again, I had zero anticipation for this, and when I started watching it, I was concerned again. I mean, we discussed this on the Primate review. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go again. Well, first of all, and we talked about this a little bit pre-show, there is, let me see, Mika Amundsen that played Tanner. He was also in Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker looks like is that right?
He's the Boston dude.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The motherfucker looks like he's 34 and he's playing a high schooler. So one of the first things that I said to my buddy Chris after we got done watching the movie, I was like, that's why Stranger Things did so well, because they hired kids to be
real
kids, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm so, like, dude, it's 2026, bro. Like, if you're making a movie about high schoolers and you want to get around, like, having to work with minors because of the laws as far as how long they're allowed to work on set, dude, hire 18-year-old kids that just graduated high school and cast them as your high schoolers, because they still look like high schoolers because they literally just were in high school. Why in 2026 are we hiring these older motherfuckers to play high schoolers. Like it just immediately it takes me out.
I mean, it made
where I'm
sense
just
in
like,
the 80s and 90s, but it doesn't make sense to me now. I don't think to cast adults as children.
It's ridiculous, dude. Funny enough, I just showed my 9-year-old Grease for the first time, and that cast, it's like, holy fucking shit. These dudes are like in their fucking 30s.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah.
That one dude with the curly hair looks like he's fucking 47 in Grease. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but anyways, so like it immediately takes me out that we have these characters that they do not look like high schoolers, right? Like I feel like Dafne Keen can pull it off. Sosie Nalesi, I feel like she can pull it off, and even Sky Yang, I'll give it to him.
Sky Yang, dude, as Rel, I thought he was the only one out of all of them that legitimately looked like a teenager
and acted like one.
Acted like one too,
dude. So when we start getting in the thick of it, I'm like, oh man, the character development is ridiculous. And then once the death whistle gets introduced, and I also fucking sighed when Nick Frost came on screen, and they were like, Principal Craven. I'm like,
Mr. Craven. Yeah. When I heard that, I literally said out loud, like, are you fucking serious? Like,
are you kidding?
It used to be cool. It used to be cool, dude. Okay. Like at this point,
dude. Yes.
Stop, please. Like it's not funny. It's not cool. It's not like a little Easter egg in any way. Like I get that this movie has inspiration from A Nightmare on Elm Street. I get it. Like in terms of basic theme. But no.
Well, that was actually the only inspiration, was the name drop of Craven.
And it takes place in high school kids.
I literally sighed.
In their 30s.
Yeah. I sighed when they did that. I'm like, dude, that's such a trope that it's just like naming main characters after iconic horror movie directors. It's like it's been done a bajillion times. So anyway, when all of a sudden like the death whistle ends up in his hand and he's like instantly Googling it, and then they're like, oh. And like somehow like he's able to like read like Mayan scripture like no problem. He was like, "Oh, it says this," and then somebody like types on a computer.
Google translated it.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, they did that so quickly, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be such a throwaway movie because like they're just taking no time to develop anything. This is ridiculous, and that's how I felt like it was gonna go. Now I will say, the characters got better as the movie went on, because when Ray or Rel, Sky Yang's character, gets introduced, he was annoying as fuck when he first got introduced, and he was like unrealistic as well, to where I'm like, okay, like here we go. But he actually, I think, was the most, as the story went on and the movie went on, I think he was the most interesting character in the whole fucking movie, man. And he truly had like a character arc that I really dug. And so like I was concerned this was I'm gonna keep calling it out. I was concerned this was gonna be another Taro or Primate situation, but actually they did decently on some of the characters and things like that. So it kind of got the pass from me as far as that was concerned. I also, that first kill with the fucking fire lava monster guy, I was like
deep throating him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like
he fucking
deep throating that
his
forearm.
mouth.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Oh my God. So when that was on screen, I was like, all right, here we go. Like, motherfucking Justin got me on this one. I gotta watch the movie for the epic film, guys. And here I am in a theater watching this piece of shit. And
Jeremy's like, no Silent Night, Deadly Night remake.
That is a fucking great movie, Brady. Watch your goddamn mouth.
Right.
So,
oh no.
So anyways, I feel like it got better as it went on, and then they really doubled down on the fact of like how you're supposed to die at whatever age you're supposed to die is how you're going to die now. Man, I fucking loved it. There are some truly great fucking kills, and I'll name something else that I really liked, and I thought it was really unique and really cool, and I hadn't seen anything like it. I love that they had a character, Noah Haggerty, that was playing like a young youth pastor in a church with his own congregation, but he's a drug dealer. And basically, even though he's preaching the word of God, he's like getting these kids hooked on drugs, so they bring him money. And I don't know, man, I really liked that a lot. Like, I felt like that was really unique, really original, and I really dug that. I really dug him being like another villain in the mix of a movie where clearly like Death Whistle is
obviously
a villain.
The bolo tie had to do it too, man. He's wearing that fucking bolo tie.
I loved it. I loved
when
his
he walked up
design
wearing
too.
that shit, I was like, I saw New York plates, Right. So I was like,
Mhm.
he's wearing a fucking bolo tie in New York. I mean, my redneck uncle used to wear a bolo tie when he went fucking line dancing, but this kid just like walking around after school, sporting that shit, smoking a cigarette, not giving a fuck with a switchblade. I'm like, all right.
I also just think that like they not to cut you off, Jared, but they had like this weird image of like a mill town that they were trying to go for, like very grayish.
Oh God, here we
very,
go.
like,
I know what you're gonna
worn
say.
down.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, you go to like a house, that's
mansion.
with a pool.
A modern
also,
mansion.
where the fuck are the parents? Where are the parents? You never see Ray's parents. They just apparently live in this house together alone. And then her parents at the house are fucking letting them just sit in the pool till like midnight,
Drinking
beers
beer.
everywhere.
Also, I have
And
to say
then-
this, dude. Who the fuck does their homework in a hot tub, dude?
Right. Right.
Like,
And then Dean, I mean, that kid looks like he's 42 playing basketball. And he gets home the one night and he's drunk, and his dad's just like, "I hope you weren't drinking and driving again. That's gonna kill you." What? You're
I'm not dead.
17.
I'm not
What do
dead.
you mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I really hope you're not doing this. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so kind of what both of you said too, to kick off what I really thought. It's I mean, I had no anticipation at all whatsoever, but as we do on the show, you never know what you're gonna find with these smaller titles that no one's really paying attention to. I looked at the
Box of
cast,
chocolates.
I mean, and I saw Dafne Keen and is in it, who I really enjoy. I think they did a really great job of making her as unattractive as humanly possible in this movie with those terrible fucking wigs. Oh my God.
You know what? Even still, I'm like,
She looks
she's
good.
still attractive.
She still looks attractive. No, I mean, I'm being facetious here. I mean, she's such an attractive person that it's really, you can't make her unattractive. But no, I mean, like, I want to give this thing a shot. It's a smaller little movie, and the premise seems pretty interesting, if not somewhat generic. And I mean, overall, I gotta say, I agree with you completely, Jeremy, that, dude, the first act of the movie, I thought I was in trouble. I was like, oh God, when that slow zoom on Dafne Keen on the roof, she's sitting there, Chris is sitting there like jotting down something in a notebook with the full teen angst mode going on in the hip indie rock in the background, whatever it was. I was like, God, how try hard is this going to be? But the character actually pans out. I mean, the character herself is probably the most developed in terms of any kind of character development. She's a teen who
backstory.
she ODs and her father dies in a car accident due to like trying to take her to the hospital, if I remember correctly. So, she has a reason to have that angst and be depressed, and she has to move in with her cousin, I guess, with also her uncle or aunt, which we never see or ever hear their voices.
Never see.
But I guess it's interesting if you think about it. Like a lot of 80s movies, sometimes you didn't see the parents, but a lot of them you did too. So I don't know why you wouldn't just have. I mean, we do see a couple parents, but it doesn't really make a difference, I guess. These kids are they're seniors, so it would make sense in some capacity that they're kind of off doing their own thing without their parents up their ass all the time. I first thought that Daphne's performance was going to be a little flat too, but then as the movie goes along, I do agree that it gets better. The characters are slightly more developed. Their relationships with one another are a little bit more nuanced. Even just, again, it's surface level stuff here. This movie is A to B in terms of being a teen horror movie, but it does a decent enough job with them to show that they care about each other or dislike one another, with the drama in between some of them. But the kills, I have to say, I disagree with you, Brady. I didn't care that some of them have CGI. Like, I thought they were pretty impactful. The DUI kill was fucking amazing. I thought that was really creative.
Fucking. Let's actually do that real quick. What
sure.
is your guys' favorite death in the movie? Because I'm with you, Justin. That car accident death scene where it's not actually even in a car. It's just the impact of a car accident happening in this kid's bedroom, because that's how he was gonna die. And I say kid, not literally, because this dude's like fucking 41 or some shit playing a teenager. But dude, his death scene was brutal as fuck. And my favorite, dude, honestly, maybe my favorite moment in this entire movie is so it's like basically he's just getting fucked up by a car accident that would have happened to him in the future while in his bedroom currently. And it's just showing the impact. And he's just getting more and more fucked up as the scene goes on. I loved that when the parents finally
Oh,
got
man,
the
yeah.
door open, that he was still standing and he was staring at them, even though like half his fucking head was gone and like he was just completely fucked up. Because like I thought that they were gonna open the door and find him on the ground, but the fact that he was still standing and staring at them and then he fell, I fucking loved that scene, dude.
Hmm.
I thought it was great, yeah.
I'd probably say, all CGI aside, that was probably the most impactful one. Or when the cousin dies, when Rel dies. I wanted to say Ray, but I think it's Rel, right? And he's like, I guess supposed to have like fallen into a grinder at the steel mill,
which is
and
some
so
brutal
like his
shit,
arm
man.
starts going, and like you're like, and like that's got to be terrifying, because similar to the DUI, like this thing, there's nothing there showing it. It's just thin air that the arm is like dissolving into, and then it eventually eviscerates him entirely. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was really good. And I have to say, man, like I think once we get to, this is like taking place during fall, which I love. And I think it really captured the season pretty well. And when a movie can capture fall in the Halloween season, it gets instant points for me. And it did it very well. This Harvest Festival, it's like this huge carnival. And even though you could tell it was CGI a lot of time when you're seeing like the maze, the hay maze or whatever, it had cool Halloween vibes. And yeah, they had the costumes on and stuff, which I really liked. And they also played one of my favorite bands, Gunship, their cover of Time After Time, which I fucking love. So I was like, I guess Hardy directed one of their music videos, so it makes sense to include them. So I was like, okay, this is kind of a vibe that I like. And I thought the whole set piece and the chase sequence inside the maze was really well done, really creative, a lot of really great camera shots in there. Now, of course, as Brady put it earlier, this death includes like an old woman, and she's doing all the same generic ass contortionist, neck snapping, cracking around stuff we've seen in literally every single horror movie of the past 20 years. But there was still some cool imagery there to be had with like her crawling up on top of the hay and then, crawling down on the side, and like the way the camera would pan in almost like a Dutch angle. I thought it was just really interestingly done with the lighting and everything. It had atmosphere and it had aura to it, which added to the tension and the suspense. I will say, in terms of the scares in the movie, one of them did get me. One of them got me.
Same.
Actually,
which one was it?
I'm trying to remember which one.
Mine was
I
the
think,
hand on her face at the pool.
I think that was the one. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
It's just
that one got me.
it like made a noise when I grabbed it.
Yeah. I mean that scene itself, actually, again, it's fall, right? So why the fuck is she out? I mean, I know you can go out in the hot tub in the winter, but it just made no sense that all these kids are hanging out. It looked like a summer setting at this hot tub or whatever, but I liked there was good tension and suspense that built in that scene. I thought, so the movie is not without suspense. The movie is not without scares, and the movie is not without gore. So for all intents and purposes, I think that the movie delivers where it needs to the most. However, I do think the concept is paper thin in terms of like how the lore is explained. I like the design of the whistle, but his script doesn't really offer any kind of like deep explanations for the lore. Does it necessarily need to? That's the question. I mean, does the movie work just as good without that?
Also, let's talk about real quick how in all 7 movies that the director and writer said were inspired
you're stuck
them,
on that.
they didn't say The Crow.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, dude, that shot.
That dude is
Revenger.
The Revenger,
The
which
Revenger.
is like just a generic ass fake version of the Crow.
Yeah.
That shot of I like the makeup. The makeup was kind of cool that he wears to the Harvest Festival. And when he leaves and he's on the seal or the roof or whatever, rather, and the rain's pouring down on him, that's right out of the fucking Crow, dude. I was like, that's the Crow.
I was waiting for him to be like, look at the teddy bear and go, it can't rain all the time.
I waited for it too, man. Absolutely. I mean, the dude is we talked about this pre-show. Hardy was actually set to direct the remake of The Crow, but had to end up, I think he left the project. I don't know what the reason was. He dodged a bullet on that one, though. What's that?
No shit.
He was like, let's call it The Revenger.
Yeah.
It would have, maybe it would have been better. I don't know. That movie was a massive pile of shit. So.
Oh my god.
You guys had already touched on this, but I'm gonna bring it back real quick. One of the first things I said when I bring it back. One of the first things that I said when I get out of this movie, I was like, man, I am so fucking tired of filmmakers making high school centric horror movies with these characters that live in these lavish McMansions, dude, mini
Yeah.
mansions. Like, I'm like, dude, what percentage of kids actually live in a house like that or live that lifestyle? Like, but yet it's constantly heavy handed in horror movies like the fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot, the fucking Primate, like all like the list goes on and on and on and on to where it's just like, dude, stop fucking having these fucking lavish settings for these high schoolers. Like, that's not relatable. That's another thing that honestly takes me out of most movies, unless it serves, the point of the plot, for them living in these fucking mini mansions. But like, I don't know, man. I'm just like so tired of that shit.
Well, I mean, like Brady said perfectly earlier, and it's one of the points that I was thinking when I watched it. They're going to this clearly dilapidated, what looks like abandoned high school. It's all graffitied, and the houses surrounding that building are old and a little bit worn down, like a little bit run down of a neighborhood. It looks like it's kind of like a bad area, if you will. And then it quickly switches right from that to this mansion. Now, that is the only location like that in the movie. We see where Rel lives and where Chris is staying at the time, like it's a regular house. It looks like a regular old house, which I liked that it gave cool imagery to mix with like the muted dark gray color timing and like the angsty indie rock music that would play in the background. But I don't know if they just decided to have that as a cool set piece. That's the house that they could use for the pool because they wanted to do a pool. Like for me, I'm thinking like it would have been cool if it were like, if you like remember It Follows, that character has a pool in their backyard, but it's just an old house in an old neighborhood. You could have done
it's a fucking old ass pool too.
Yeah, it's an old ass pool. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying the movie needs to be these characters all need to be poor or anything. Like the parents can have money.
Sure.
It is weird that this is a continuing trend that I think maybe the directors or whoever's coming up with the sets location seeker, whatever the hell you call that person that does that, that they're like, oh, this will add production value to the movie.
Value.
Just because it's a nice house and a cool pool, and it'll give the movie some visual flair.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to call out is the lack of a good score in this movie. Like there were actually entire scenes that I feel like would have had more tension had the score been revved up, but there was one scene, one of the scenes where it was like a character being like stalked by their future death self, right? And there was like virtually very little score whatsoever in the scene. And sometimes like in films like where there's no score, that can add tension, but in this one it's like it felt like something was missing. And I feel like the score in this movie was lackluster.
So for example here, while you disliked and trashed Primate and I had a blast with it, the score for that movie was amazing, and I talked about that in that review. This composer, I just looked it up, Doomphonic. Apparently, Jeremy, this is their first ever score. So that might be why the actual score itself was lackluster as fuck. I don't remember any part of the theme. I don't remember anything at all from the music whatsoever, except for the songs they played. The
needle drops were great, man.
Yeah, needle drops were good. Yeah, and I think
they played a Churches song at the very end, which I dig Churches.
I love Churches.
Like, that's cool.
Yep, I love Churches. I mean, so to your point earlier, B Ratty, I think maybe that's what they were thinking with the teen high school with the soundtrack from Lost Boys, because Lost Boys has another needle drop movie for sure, like a classic needle drop movie. That's really, I guess, the only comparison I can make aside from teenagers being stalked by something that's trying to kill them, and they have to. I mean, that's one thing that I think in this movie we've seen a million times, and this movie does the same thing where it's like, oh, we have to try to kill ourselves and revive ourselves so we can try to escape this curse, which we've seen.
Smile had that, yeah.
We've seen it.
They
in
literally
so many
say
movies.
You have to get it to jump over you and skip you, like straight out of Final Destination.
Legit, dude. Not that I mind a little bit of, I mean, clearly it's not homage. Clearly it's like straight up ripping it off, but it's perfectly fine, I guess. I mean, we've seen this in so many other movies. So at that point, I didn't audibly groan or anything. I just kind of said, oh, they're doing that thing that we've seen in a bunch of other movies. Okay. All right. Whatever.
One thing I did appreciate, though, was I as far as the lack of character development and good writing, I did think that there were some decent moments between Ellie and Chris, where it's not like overtly sexualized. You know, like they have the one scene where they make out, but outside of that, it's really just this kind of cute, almost innocent romance where it's like the crush trying to figure out like if they even like you. And then they just seem like they're really close throughout the movie, and not in like a gross, overdone.
They had a good relationship, and I think when you talk about chemistry, Brady, I think they had the best chemistry in the movie out of all the characters for sure. And they're two of the most seasoned actors in this movie. So
yeah.
I mean that was another element that, again, when the movie started, I was like, "Fuck, we're not going to get any character development. This fucking thing is going to be paper thin." And they actually, like, again, progressively throughout the movie, they really did, you know, some good. I'm not going to say great character work, but they did some good character work.
It's A to B
found,
stuff.
I found refreshing considering what I thought I was going to get when this movie started. So, I definitely appreciated those scenes where, there was moments between these characters and, Dafne Keen and the chick from Yellow Jackets, man, Sophie
Nélisse.
I'll never be able to say her last name.
Nélisse?
Yeah, she plays. It's Ellie. The character is Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie and Chris had some great moments. You really felt for Rel too, with he had a crush on the blonde chick, but she was dating the jock, and that's motherfucker. That's another thing, man. I'm telling you right now, is dude, can we fucking please in 2026 stop doing the stereotypical jock bullshit in horror movies? I went to fucking high school for 4 years, right? That shit didn't exist, bro. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But, like, there wasn't, like, these, like, I'm a fucking football player, I'm a basketball player, like, and, like, fucking heavy-handed bullying and shit like that. Like, I know some of that stuff does exist out there, but why is it always a thing that in horror movies, or just movies in general, where they're like, here's your stereotypical goths, here's your stereotypical jocks, here's the
this movie had that. Yeah, this movie had all that.
The worst people I knew were theater kids. They were the fucking worst. The worst people I knew were theater kids.
My school was band. It was the band kids that fucking with their instruments and their fucking dumb jackets and shit like that. But like, even the nerds in my school that I went to that hung out by the stairs, like nobody fucked with them. Like they were cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I never saw like any like blatant like I'm a football player, so I'm gonna walk up to this fucking nerd by the stairs and shove him into a locker.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I got picked on a lot for certain things I would wear and stuff like that. But sometimes I did get actually like pushed or something like that would happen or whatever. I got in fights in high school because I was different. Whatever the fuck they'd call me, the freak or whatever.
You still are.
I mean, dude, I am. Still fucking dyeing my hair red like I'm 14 years old and listening to Ice Nine Kills. Not. Spencer, if you're listening, hope you're enjoying the show, bro.
I was gonna say, who's talking shit now?
Listen, hey, that's something I need to mention. It's out of nowhere, but I like to poke fun at Ice Nine Kills, and last week Spencer, the singer, like shared an Epic Film Guys thing and tagged us.
Yeah,
so,
Justin almost fucking creamed in his pants. Sent it in the group chat.
No.
Acted like he was like, oh, I'm their number one fan. I've listened to all their albums.
Listen, I still have one of their shirts, bro. I still have one of their shirts from back in the day. I'm not a
Release
gatekeeper,
the Esquivel files. Release the files.
But
Let's see. Release the Esquivel files. Your tattoo, your Ice Nine Kills tattoo on your lower back, bro.
I do not have one. I do not. The scene that really I thought I was going to dislike this movie was when Chris shows up to school for the first day, and she's immediately bullied by Dean. Like he's just like, I heard you killed your dad and you're a junkie, blah blah blah, and making fun of her for being a drug addict when in all reality the dude's a fucking alcoholic. he's got an alcohol problem. So that's the same thing, bro. Like, it's still being an addict. Like, I don't know if that was them trying to have character work, like he's insecure about his own problem, so he's going to take it out on her. Maybe that's possible. I just thought it was a little on the nose to have.
I don't think their writing was that deep.
You meeting someone for the first time and like being that cruel to the person.
Heard
like,
you killed your dad, you fucking junkie. She could have shut it down and been like, bitch, you look 36.
Right.
Fuck you.
What the fuck
How
are
many
you
years
doing
did
in
you
high
get
school?
held back? Yeah.
But she does kick him in the balls, and I did like that. And also at the Harvest Festival with the bolo tie wearing, fucking cigarette smoking, switchblade.
Pastor. Yeah.
Pastor. He gets, dude. Chris actually like cuts his nose with that shit. That's pretty brutal. After he's trying to like push off drugs to her, and she's clean and shit, and obviously a former addict. I loved that she took that.
Then his
knife
nose looks fucking fine when you see him again.
That's called jail time, bro. When she fucking
right.
slit his nostril wide open, I'm like, yeah, that's jail time. Like,
That's
you're going to
that's
jail
serious
now,
jail
bro.
time. Yeah.
Right. You're going down. Yeah, and I mean, getting to the ends, it's you realize why the youth pastor character is in there. It's that he's supposed to be the thing that helps Death jump. So he chases them down, and
he's the plot device. Yes,
he's the plot device, and
Just fine.
Yeah, they're fine. Ellie's about to die, and then he touches her blood. Which also, look, I love the religious cult stuff. I love the religious zealot stuff, but like some of that's overdone now too. Like this kid is just sitting there like waxing poetic about like Jesus saves. Like, come on, man, you're pushing drugs. Like those two things don't really go together here. But anyways, so he gets killed. He shoots. I guess he ends up. It's weird because he shoots his death, but then he has the bullet holes end up in him because you find out that if you hurt them, it hurts you, But then he still doesn't die that way. He dies because of bloat and old age. He looked like the thing from Oddity. I didn't know what it was.
I honestly didn't understand at all what his death was supposed to reflect, like how at all whatsoever. It would just look like a bloated old guy.
It looked like Possessor. Yeah.
Or like waterlogged, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like drowning or something, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyways, he dies, and then you realize that like they've escaped death. And then that fucking new girl sees the whistle in her locker.
Also, they give Dafne Keen an even worse wig at the end. I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, just let her show her hair, man. She's got beautiful I mean, I know obviously it said 3 months later or some shit or whatever. So obviously her hair wouldn't be that long as it is in real life, but you gave her an even worse wig to wear. Like, dude.
They were like, hey, what does stereotypical lesbians look like? All right,
honestly,
this is going to be her final character design.
That really is a perfect way to put that. And
I said, what does it look like if a lesbian who's 17 listens to New Wave?
Yeah,
right there.
And they gave her the outfit and stuff. I mean,
the pixie cut.
Dude, the look worked for her. Okay, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, why are you putting so many god awful wigs on this poor girl? I mean,
and let's make her look 35.
Oh my god.
It's almost like the Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween 2 wig situation. Like, you can clearly tell it's a fucking wig, dude. But anyways, I'll stop with the wigs. It's time to nail this down here with our final thoughts and trash it or treasure it. And be ready. I'm throwing it to you first, boy.
Yeah, I'm going to trash the shit out of this movie.
Okay.
Almost nothing redeeming about it for me other than the needle drops. I feel like it's sometimes we talk about adapting a Stephen King short story, right? And how like I love those, but sometimes when they start to add too much of their own input to it and try to drag it out and make it a full length, it's bad. I haven't read the short story that this is based off of, but based on this movie, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's probably bad. And it just feels like the same. Like there's so much in this and yet not at the same time, like there's no character development. There's no background on this death whistle, why Horse even took it in the first place, like how it seems to want to call out to you like the fucking ring from Lord of the Rings, but then like some people are immune to it. There's clear ripoffs of almost every movie that they didn't say inspired them, and a clear lack of inspiration from anything they did say inspired them. And while some of the kills are good, there are some good moments of tense scenes like the Harvest Festival, like the pool where the hand goes across Grace's face. Overall, man, it just I wouldn't recommend somebody like go see this if they're like, hey, should I go see this or go see something else? Like part of me is like, man, I should have gone and seen Iron Lung instead.
Justin
So
fucked me out of that.
Listen, you can still go see Iron Lung.
I know I'm gonna go see it. I'm just saying.
so for me, man, I gotta trash this. It's just not good.
Okay, and Jeremy.
Greatest movie of the year.
Yeah. I'm like right next to Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. This is a fucking masterpiece. Excellent double feature. No, man. So I've kind of changed up my rating barometer a little bit because it used to be that if I had a good time with something and I was, able to turn my brain off and just be entertained throughout the course of the movie, and it did entertain me and I had a good time with it, I used to be like, all right, well, like, how can I trash it when ultimately it kind of, and for the most part, did its job, man. It entertained me. I had fun with it. But I've kind of changed that up because I feel like if I was like, oh, well, I treasure this, right? Someone at some point inevitably is going to stop me and be like, motherfucker, you treasured Whistle? You know what I mean? Like you endorsed it. You threw your stamp of approval on it. And it's like, I thought that this movie, within the first 20 minutes of it, I thought that this movie was going to be like dog shit. And I ended up, they did a pretty good job of keeping me engaged throughout the movie. And I had a lot of fun with it. And there were parts where, I laughed and kind of, sat on the edge of my seat. And this is a fun movie and it is an enjoyable movie. And I think that had this movie come out when I was a kid, right? And, but obviously would have been much more practical effects heavy. I feel like I would have loved this movie when I was like a kid. So maybe like that's more of the demographic for this thing is
it
like
absolutely
a younger,
is, yeah. For sure it is.
Yeah, like
it's
a
teen
younger
horror movie.
like 12 to like 16-year-old demographic, because I feel like if this would have come out when I was younger, I would have dug the fuck out of this movie. But even though I was entertained and engaged the whole movie, like I can't say that I treasure this movie because I can honestly say like I'll probably never watch this movie again for my entire life. I just don't think that there's ever going to be a need to revisit this one. So although, there are some really great performances, there are some great, character moments. There's some great death. The gore is fucking great in this movie. The production value is great. A lot of the direction is great. It's still just so generic and so many mishmash things put together for the runtime of this movie that I could never be like, oh, I treasure this. Like it's very mid and it's very enjoyable. So like when this pops up on streaming, I implore people to watch it. I think that you might have a good time with it. If you've got younger kids that are getting into horror, this would probably be a good movie for them. It was not for me. So even though I had a good time with it, I'm still going to have to trash it.
Yeah, I mean, totally get that. And for all the same reasons why you're trashing it, I'm going to treasure it because I think that the movie serves its purpose perfectly fine. It has great kill sequences, solid performances, and it's effective as a piece of teen-centric horror. What's what the movie is for. It serves its purpose in that way. I was entertained. And my barometer when it comes to this is, since we don't do number ratings on the show, since you've been on the show, Jeremy, for many years now, we've done this way of rating movies, which is basically our own version of thumbs up, thumbs down. And we actually did bring up the idea to bring back a 1 through 10 scale rating system, which would allow us more nuance in our ratings on these movies. However, our fans said they prefer this, so we stick with this. Now, if I was to give a number rating, sometimes this helps with our fans to understand where my brain is at. I'd give this a 6 out of 10, which is an okay movie. It means it's my last possible passing grade. So a 5 is failing, right? Which means I don't think the movie is very good. This movie was okay. And I think in terms of that, I have to treasure it because the direction was spot on. The script is weak. There's pacing and editing issues, obviously. And the lore is not very full and developed. But for what the movie's trying to be and who the demographic is, it serves its purpose perfectly fine. So Whistle for me is a treasure. Am I going to own the fucking movie? Am I going to go out and buy it on 4K Ultra HD or watch it once a year? Probably not, but the movie is perfectly fine. So it's a treasure for me. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our Fresh Fright review of Wussel. Whistle. If it's your first time listening to the show, thanks for checking us out. If you're a long-time listener, thanks so much for sticking with us. So many more amazing, hopefully, horror movies to cover this year in 2026. I know I'm super pumped for a couple, maybe one coming out later this month with a guy with a white mask and a knife. Feel like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Friday the 13th.
It's one of those. It's one of those movies. People get chopped up and stabbed and all that shit. It's kind of cool.
We should change the rating system from trash. The next level should be mid AF or treasure.
I really
Let us know what you guys think, man.
I don't know.
Then we're gonna be like the fucking kids who are supposed to be in high school, but actually look like they're in their 30s and 40s.
Dude, because I'll say this right now.
That movie was no cap.
The mid AF is
real.
legit. Like that's the kid thing. So just saying. But yeah, for sure.
Hello, kids.
I give that movie a broccoli cut.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Fucking broccoli heads.
That movie's for broccoli heads.
I mean, this movie is kind of for broccoli heads, but there's no broccoli heads in the movie. I didn't see a single one. I'm not sure. I don't think I saw one.
And thank God for that.
Thank God for that. Yeah. So that's an instant treasure, in my opinion. It has to be.
Let me go back, actually. Yeah.
But yes, we're available. Podcast is available everywhere that you want to find podcasts, and of course, we're at Epic Film Guys all over social media. So until next time, I am Justin.
I'm Jeremy.
And I am pre-ready.
And as we always like to
And
say,
I'm Doonies.
keep that shit. Oh, creepy, 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 creepy.